Hut Hut. Let's party. Hut Hut podcast. My man Jerome Carvin in the house. What's up, bro?
Man, going good, man. Everything's going good. Just had pro day. Took a time off, and now I'm back to it. So,
When are you gonna start training again?
I guess probably next week.
Yeah.
Probably start next week. Yep.
Yeah, man. The combine training for the underwear Olympics. Let's call it right. You're a ball player.
Mm-hmm.
I told somebody the other day. Jerome will end up being a late round pick, whether it's third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, whatever. But you're gonna play a long time. Everybody I taught, as long as you don't let your brain get weird on you, believe in yourself and keep that dog in you, because you're just a ball player. And everybody in the NFL I've called, like, they all rave about you, all of them. Like, we like him, we like him, we like him. So when you take a guy that's just all ball player, and then you try to transition to the underwear Olympics,
Yeah.
that's not, you're not going to set records with that stuff.
Yeah, no.
Right? So I sure didn't either. Somehow I played 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
Rich showed me my RAS score earlier today. It was horrible. It was bad, right? I was green in like size and weight. That was
Yeah.
about it. Everything else was red. Somehow I played a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the ball players, once they go to the underwear Olympics deal, it takes away from the football stuff.
Yeah.
So now it's like, all right, let's get you back ready to play pro football. The combine, the combat, but you definitely take a week off, man. Let your body rest. Enjoy I was at pro day. You killed it. Looked great in the drills. Picked up the tennis ball. My God.
Yeah.
I was freaking throwing darts blind, trying to set up a mock pro day for you guys. I'm glad they did it.
Yeah.
Because you killed it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and obviously Big Darnell, I think he had a pretty good day.
Yeah.
I know guys are high on him.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, he went from like a third or fourth round projection to first round.
round, yeah.
Good for him, man. That's awesome. And I know you like him, and he's a good dude from what everybody tells me.
Mm-hmm.
Talked to Ellerby the other day. He said he was, obviously not happy to lose all you guys.
Yeah.
Loses Cade, then loses you and Darnell in the same year. That revolving door, man, as an O-line coach, you just never know, like, how those pieces are going to get filled.
Yeah.
But he's a dang good coach.
He definitely is.
Yeah, so, let's just start with him.
Mm-hmm.
How long did you have him? This is Hype's second year?
Yeah. So I had him with 2 years. So 2021 and 2022.
So I met him the other day, man. He seems so humble.
Yeah.
I'm sure he can get fired up at times, but I didn't
Yeah.
get like that old school ram down your throat type coach. Maybe he is on practice field, but he seemed awesome. Well, what did you think about him in the last 2 years?
Yeah, so crazy story. I knew him back in recruitment when he was at the office coordinator at Missouri, and just actually having that relationship with him back then to now, like, he came in 2021, took over. It's been smooth. It's been great. He's a player's coach through and through. Played at Oklahoma, was up for the Heisman, type deal. So he's a baller,
Yep.
and so he understands what we go through on a day-to-day basis. So. Just having him as a head coach now, and just how he relates to guys, and just how he handles the situation. So that, man, it's been amazing.
That's awesome. When I had Bump on here, he said the exact same thing, and I said then, and I'll say it again: when former players transition to coaches and they don't want to keep player schedules, because a player schedule does not work for coaching, which is why my butt ain't coaching. When they truly transition to coaches, and they adapt the hours, because a lot of coaches aren't former players.
Yeah.
So when you try to live on a player schedule, your coaching staff's not going to respect you. You're not working as much as them. It just doesn't work.
Yep.
And then he just gets it, man. He played big time Power 5 football. Every single thing y'all go through, he already went through. And by the way, it was harder when he went through it.
Yeah.
Because it's turned into, we can't let our heads get touched ever, or everybody's gonna have CTE.
Yeah.
And I respect that, and I believe in it. When I first came into the NFL, it was rough.
I bet.
And when my dad played, it was even rougher. And surprisingly, a lot of those guys are dead.
Yeah.
So I believe me, I believe in the safety aspect. I wasn't knocking the safety aspect. I believe in it big time. But it's kind of, it's hurt really developing kids sometimes, especially O-linemen. Like, you only have so many times. So Hype, being a former player, he's going to take care of y'all's bodies and make sure you're rolling, but at the same time, he understands exactly when it's time to be gritty and have a hard practice, and players respect it. Like, you respect when somebody's already gone through it. Like, do not yell at me and scream at me to be tough when you've never been in my shoes.
Exactly.
Like, that'd be like me screaming at some guy in Afghanistan getting shot at. Be tough.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, I don't know what he's going through. I ain't never been there, man. Don't talk about toughness unless you've already walked in my shoes.
Exactly.
And when you have coaches that have, man, oh man, it's all, and that's even at the high school level. Like, if you were a high school O-line coach, If you played high school football and you were an O-lineman, yell at them.
Yeah.
But it's hard, and that was just always my opinion. And I should be careful because there's so many great coaches out there that weren't former players, man.
Yeah.
So many, and so good. And toughness is such a huge part of the O-line position that they have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But for me personally, when I had bosses and coaches that had been there and done it, just naturally they could get on me more, and I just responded so much better.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that y'all have hype over there now, well, you don't anymore. Your butt's long gone to greener
Yeah.
pastures. Time to go make some real money.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's raving about this NIL money. That NIL money, that's just a nice pickup truck. The real
Yeah.
money's coming now, buddy.
Oh yeah.
Unless you're Nico, he's making that real money. But all of us ain't quarterbacks.
Nah.
Good for him. I hear he's a great kid.
He is a good guy.
I hear great things about that young man. So I'm happy, man, when the best players and the highest paid players are good people and do things the right way, then it trickles down to everybody. And I'm glad Tennessee got him because I hear he's first class.
He definitely is.
That's awesome. So what about Ellerby? Let's move on to him. What did you speak to me about him a little bit?
Yeah, so similar to Hyper, he actually was with Hyper at Missouri in 2016 when they were recruiting me, and just kind of getting him now, kind of stayed in contact a little bit. So we really been tight, ever since then, and just his big thing is like teaching us how to be a man. It's like he's more so like off the field, like on the field. Obviously, like he's gonna, he's O-line coach, so he's gonna have his days and things like that. And he's gonna get after us, but off the field, like it's always like trying to pat us on our back. After he tears it into us, he's like, look, man, like this is for later on in life, because football, this is gonna end. And so just because after football, man, you still gotta be a man. You still got responsibilities, and you got people relying on you, things like that. So his big teaching point was all about being a man and teaching us how to be a man. And I honestly fully respect him for that. And man, he's probably the best coach I've had in college. So
Really?
most definitely.
I love it, man. And I'm going on this O-line journey now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm passionate about the O-line position. I love tight ends too.
Yeah.
I'm at a tight end meeting at Bearden High School yesterday with their tight ends. It was a blast. I played the position for a long time,
Yeah.
but I've always naturally loved the O-line position. The brotherhood, the character of you guys, the unity of you guys. There's not many individuals because you can't be an individual.
Yeah.
You're an individual in that room, you stick out like a sore thumb.
Definitely.
And so I was somehow, I don't know how I went down the rabbit hole of looking up college O-line coaches' salaries the other day. I have zero interest in being a
Yeah.
college O-line coach, but I must have just been bored laying in my bed. And my dog Ellerby's up there now.
They make some money now.
Yeah. So, and then I meet him, and he's so humble.
Yeah.
And he's just like his demeanor, like he was awesome.
Yeah.
And obviously spent some time with him and the tight end coach the other day just to get to know him, to make sure anytime you guys are over here, I'm speaking the exact same language they speak.
Yeah.
Because there's a million different ways to skin a cat.
Mm-hmm.
Just like when we're talking about some of the stuff down here and when you're doing some of the skill stuff before your pro day, Ellerby might teach it one way. I might teach it a little bit different, but especially for the guys that are still in college playing for him. Like,
Yeah.
hey, man, I want to speak the exact same language you speak.
Mm-hmm.
That way, the Addison Nichols, who
Yeah.
that's Rich's guy from
Mm-hmm.
the GAC days, if he swings by here, I want to make sure that I'm just empowering Tennessee football.
Yeah.
And just talking to him about that and just his demeanor and his energy, man, I liked him a lot.
Yeah.
And I only met him for 5 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
but I like him a lot. I like the whole staff. Everybody I met over there seemed awesome. But that's cool. So talk about the hype transition. I know you don't want to beat up the old staff. I've been there.
Yeah.
Everybody tries to get you to trash who got fired. That's not what I'm doing. I'm talking about just when they came in, the excitement, because sometimes it's like, what, you've been at Central Florida, what do you know about the SEC? You
Yeah.
can't handle the SEC.
Exactly, yeah.
Blah, 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 all the bull crap. Everybody starts chirping. Negative energy sells. Well, guess what? That joker came in here and started stomping people on the ground.
Yeah, he did.
And by the way, built a culture that the players love and are willing to work hard for. So, talk a little bit just about the hype transition. Bump raved about it. You raved about him as a coach a minute ago, but just the whole deal.
Yeah.
Because the SEC is better when Tennessee's good.
Yeah. Most definitely.
It just is. The orange, rocky top. We annoy the. I say we. I didn't have enough sense to stick around back in the day. With Luke Stalker the other day, I said, "Man, you didn't do a good job keeping me out of trouble." Luke wanted all that. Well, Luke wanted to be the only tight end there, so he let me get. No, I'm just kidding. But when Tennessee football's thriving, it helps everything.
Yeah.
So it's like your first couple years, it's like, man, right?
yeah.
And then boom, we're back.
Yeah.
So just talked about how exciting it is to get to finish your last 2 years. That was one of my favorite things as a player in the NFL. A lot of times when I was a free agent, I got brought into new coaching staffs because I was a culture guy and a
Yeah.
locker room guy, and I loved helping build a new culture and kind of help that head coach build what he wanted to build specifically because every head coach is different.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit just about the hype transition and just how awesome it was because you're always one of the founding fathers now, bro.
Yeah.
Like sooner or later, Josh Heupel will get fired at Tennessee.
Yep.
Philip Fulmer got fired. Sooner or later, Nick Saban will get fired at Alabama. Like, it's crazy how fickle some of these programs are and how short their memory is the minute you have one losing season.
Oh yeah.
So hopefully Josh Heupel, that's 20 years from now.
Yep.
Right? And hopefully he's one of the few guys that decides to coach for 20 years and then retire. But this world is just unforgiving, man, for players, for coaches, for everybody. But you were one of the founding fathers of the Josh Hype, Tennessee kind of rejuvenation.
Yeah.
So just talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, so I'll start off. Obviously I came in under the Pruitt era and all those coaches, man. And I have nothing but good things to say about those guys. Unfortunately he got fired and things like that. Everything wasn't going his direction. So, obviously they turned to Coach Heupel. So before then, it was a leadership council that I knew AD had assembled and kind of like was kind of like, I guess like trying to give us feedback, like give him feedback to like what we wanted to coach, honestly, and everything that we like talked about in that meeting, it was Coach Heupel, and it was great that he had previous relationships with Coach Heupel. He brought him in, and first time seeing him, everybody was like, man, who is this guy, type deal, and because I mean that's how it is, because you're so used to one thing, you've been in the same system for 3 years or so, and now it's like everything's changed now, and it's kind of crazy, he comes in and gives his introductory speech to the team and things like that, and guys weren't really buying it, and but he's like, you know what, hey, we're in this together, so he's like, as long as y'all, hey, come, I'm fighting with you, what I'm saying, we're building this from the ground up, so as long as y'all can believe in me and believe in the process that we have going on, like, we'll be fine. And just as time went on and like things went on and just everything he's bringing in with the staff that he brought in and the coaches that he set, as coming in, man, you just saw it's like night and day experience, type deal in that locker room and just in the facility in general with everyone in the facility, not just the players. It was like support staff, everybody, kind of like buying into it, and it really didn't start like turning over until everyone bought in. Like it was like is you can be players, support staff, like everyone, and it's like zero guy, like everybody has to buy in order for it to work. And so you start seeing it. I would say 2020, that the year we went 7-6. You start to see it was like just little times, there's little things that you pick up on, like guys like getting extra work in. Guys like going in the film rooms more and studying more in the playbook, and like guys bringing each other along to go in the playbook and study and things like that. And it's like when I was there 3 years before, it was like, man, we never had that type deal. So you start seeing that, and then it kind of like took a jump forward when guys started getting comfortable in the system. Obviously, year 2 in the system, like everybody knows what's going on, and we hit it full throttle. That summer, like we really took the team over, like the guys in the locker room, because Coach Harp, like, look, we can scream and yell at y'all till we blue in the face, but at the end of the day, this is y'all's team. Like y'all out there playing, we're not playing no more. My days is over. So that was his main message to us, and honestly, just the guys, the leadership in the room, the captains on that team, I was a part of it, and we kind of just grabbed the bull by the horns, type deal, and just our whole thing was bring your guy along with you, bring somebody along with you, and that was the whole deal. So you went extra work, you bring like 2-3 guys along with you, like, and it turned into like a whole, like, so the O-line we'll go work out, extra day, like on a Saturday, like we had nothing. It was stuff like that, and after that we would like go cook. We'll go, go to the house and go eat together and things like that, and just like spending time with each other outside the building was huge. Like it was like probably the biggest thing that we, seen, like just looking back at it, and it was just like that time just spending together and just building that camaraderie and just the whole locker room, not just O-line just hanging out with O-line, it was whole O-line hanging out with DBs sometimes, and it was like the whole team was hanging out with each other and got cool with each other, and you saw the success that we had last year, and it plays dividend to that.
That fires me up, man. Especially, like I said, I my story is known. I got kicked out of Tennessee, but I've lived here my whole life. My father played over there. Coach Fulmer still my guy, right? when Tennessee football is rolling, this town is happier.
Yeah.
So if this town is happier, then what does every employee at Tennessee feel like when they're winning? Even more happy because
Yeah.
they're in the middle of it. So it's crazy, and the NFL's this way. Like, if the owner ain't right, it is crazy how it trickles down. Like, the owner of whoever, we never see him.
Yeah.
They are billionaires with a B, right? Like, my man Arthur Blank, shout out to Arthur Blank, he'd sit right in the middle of the locker room every game days. He'd be right in the middle of the locker room. He flew with us. He was awesome. He was a great owner. Gave us all the resources we need. Treated Arthur Smith great. But I saw that man one time a week on game day.
Yeah.
Right. That's NFL owners for the most part. Arthur Blank does things the right way, so it trickles down. When you have a bad owner, it trickles down, and it's crazy. Like, how is something trickling down from a man I've never seen? Right. Well, because it does. Because he affects the GM, that then affects the coach. That then it's a snowball effect. And college football is a little different because it's structured different. There's not as much money involved. There's getting to be money involved, but it's not real money except for some of the quarterbacks and stuff. And it's real money, but not like this crazy money.
Yeah.
So it's cool when you see a guy like Hype do things the right way. Is he going to get on your butt? Yeah. Like, hey man, you ain't holding up your end of the bargain here, and it's my job as your coach to get on you. But when it's right at the top, the trainers are happy. The equipment guys are happier. The people in the caf are happy. I mean, y'all got 5-star cafeteria down there. You got barbershops and stuff in there.
Yeah.
Everybody's happy, man. And then the energy gets going. And then, oh, boom, like, because we're all not grumpy leaving the facility, it's like, hey, bro, let's go grab a drink. Or, hey, bro, let's go grab a burger. Then you start doing this, and then you have a quarterback that's first-round pick.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're going to beat your teeth in. And you're not going to like it, but we don't care because we're one. And that's just, when that happens, bro, there's nothing more fun than that. And the fact that you got to experience it is awesome.
Yeah.
Because cherish it. You might be 2-15 next year in the NFL.
Yeah.
Getting that butt tore up with a quarterback who can't play dead in the Western. Like, that's the reality. Quarterbacks run the league at the next level, bro.
Yeah.
And they do in college too, but more so at the next level. So hopefully you get drafted to a winner because losing sucks.
Yeah.
At the next level, even more than college. Because it's your full-time job.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So the Hype transition, you and Bump said the same things, and I know y'all aren't just saying it.
No.
He ain't your coach anymore officially,
No.
so you don't have to please him anymore. It's real. Like, the dude's the real deal, and he's doing things the right way. Ellerby's awesome. I love it. So what are you the most nervous about, man? Talk to me.
I'll say honestly, probably just getting into it, like camp. I'll say camp. Just going in, because at that time, like, I'm competing for a job. And it's at the camp starts with 75 guys, or it starts at probably 90 and then cuts down and like, man, that's a real deal, and things start to get real, like in camp, like the bullets start really get to flying. I got to kind of handle it mentally and physically as well, especially being an offensive lineman, just understanding that. And so that's probably the most thing I'm probably nervous about going into it.
And that's what's crazy is, for you to play in the National Football League next year, you have to literally getting some noise down there. Yeah. That's okay. We're at Hut Podcast. We're right in Triple F Gym, baby. We're partying. You might hear weights clinging. You might hear people screaming. You might hear some loud music, but we're partying right here. But you have to literally take the job of a man that's already played pro football.
Yeah.
Like, he's literally already a pro football player. You're not.
Yeah. And
you have to take his job. And then guess what? Every year thereafter, you have to do the same thing.
Yep.
And you shouldn't feel guilty about it. What's going to be crazy is you might gravitate towards the guy that you're competing with. Y'all might be the best of buddies in camp. It's weird how in the NFL, like, you're going to be tight with dudes that you're trying to take their job. It's just this mutual respect of, like, I get it, bro. Like, you're not being shady. You're not being wrong. You're just trying to protect yourself and your family.
Yeah.
Like, when you're sitting there in practice about to take a rep, you're not thinking, I got to beat out Johnny. You're just thinking, I got to win, man. Like, dogs want to win. So the mental aspect is huge. And anything you ever need from me, hit me up, because I've been through it all. And you are a dang good football player. I can promise you. Like I said, everybody I've called, you're one of the biggest ones that has been through here so far. Of like, every single person had a unanimous opinion. I mean, I talked to the scout for the Raiders when I was at Charles Pro Day, because I was in Oakland all those years. Like, dudes just light up when your name gets brought up. Like, he's a ball player. And as long as you believe in that and you know that, the way you move and the way you throw your hands, you're gonna be fine, bro.
Yeah.
You become a mental midget on me, then that's when you'll get in trouble. But as long as you don't, and don't let this rookie year eat you alive. Yeah. The best thing about being a rookie is you only got to do it once. Like, never again are you going to combine train for 8 weeks for the underwear Olympics. And then be kind of in limbo. Like, thank God you have this place, because what would you be doing? You have Tennessee right down the street, and those guys are great. But they got to worry about spring practice and training their own dudes. They got a job to do over there. Their job isn't future pros. Their job is Tennessee football.
Yeah.
So get you in here, and now let's get ready to go play pro football.
Yeah.
But this year's crazy, man. The draft. When am I getting drafted? And you've been the captain. You've been the big dog in the room. And now all of a sudden you're going to walk in the room with a 30-year-old man with 2 kids, Chris Lindstrom. He don't have 2 kids yet, but that has a $100 million contract and is an absolute savage.
Yeah.
And you got to learn from him and just follow him around. But this year is the hardest year. You get through this year and keep your mind right and believe in yourself and know you're a dog. Because I would never lie to you. Because you're going to come back to me like, bro, you told me I was a dog. Yeah, you are. You're a ball player.
Yeah.
If you're one of these genetic freak shows who just look pretty getting off the bus in your underwear, I'd be concerned.
Yeah.
But you're a ball player and you're damn good. So know that, believe that, and just go ball, man. And you're gonna be fine. You'll play a long time if the good Lord keeps you healthy.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. There's nothing you can do about that. So don't worry about that either. Just go ball. I had 5 surgeries throughout my career, and luckily they were never in a contract year. It was always weird how it kind of happened at the right time. Sometimes injuries affect people. Outside of an injury, knock on wood again, you're gonna be fine. I have zero doubt in my mind. Just go ball, because everybody loves you. Your film speaks for itself. Watching you move around down here, I'm a big crazy redneck, but I know what ball players look like. You're a dog, so believe in yourself. Well, what else, man? You got any kids?
I do. I got a daughter. Yeah, she just turned 2 March 29th. So I just went down to Memphis. That's where she's from. That's where we're at. And, celebrate her 2-year-old birthday at Dave & Buster's. It's crazy. It's like 2-year-old birthday at Dave & Buster's. But it was all good. It was good. She had a lot of fun. I went and took her around the arcade and played around and stuff like that. So that was great.
That's awesome, man. So you met, 2 years old. So obviously she got created 3 years ago-ish.
Yeah.
So is it a Tennessee girl? A girl that was at UT you met her?
Oh, no. Actually, I went to high school with her in Memphis.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, had her before my senior year, my true senior year at Tennessee. So 2021. And, man, that was wild. Kind of had her during spring ball, during this time. And I had to, I missed a practice. Went down there and obviously spent time 2-3 days, and then had to come right back, and went right back to practice, went back to grinding. So everything in this process, for her, trying to take care of her and provide for her and things like that. So it's been huge.
Man, that fires me up. I've always said you're not a real man until you're a father.
Yeah.
And some people might disagree with that, and if I hurt people's feelings out there, sorry, get over it. I don't really care. Until you have someone else that you brought into the world depending on you, you don't really have to truly make real man decisions. It's just kind of it'll just affect me, whatever. It's selfish, and you're just always about protecting your own image or your own reputation or whatever. But all of a sudden, that little girl, you're her daddy, and now anything and everything you ever do, she has to read on Google.
Yeah.
She gets made fun of it in middle school because her dad's an idiot. All those things, man, there's nothing like that. There's nothing like that pressure and that responsibility. And just the way she looks at you, man. I'd trade my son in for my daughters any day. Them girls are special, bro.
Yeah.
And the fact that I remember I had an April baby and a March baby when I was in college. So right in the middle of the spring, just like you, I had 2 kids by the time I left Marshall. And it's cool. So if you're already a dad, man, and then you got the motivation that most of these rookies don't have.
Yeah.
And a lot of them don't own up and be the dad they need to be in the first place.
Yeah.
I know you have been around you, and I know your character, and see the way you lit up when you talk about your baby. So if you got her, man, and that responsibility of taking care of her, shit, you ain't got nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
You ain't got nothing to worry about. But that pressure of her counting on you adds pressure when those mental times come. I've been there. I was a rookie in New England with 3 kids. So that even though it's a blessing because it pushes you, it's also what adds stress because you're so worried about taking care of her. So don't let that stuff get you, man. Holler at me if you're having a rough time in camp, because camp sucks.
Yeah.
Especially rookie camp, because they got to figure out what you're made of. And those older guys, you kind of got to, it's like a fraternity almost. You got to earn your way into their pack. And when you're an 8-year veteran, you're going to make that rookie earn his way. And when he does, you're going to love him like a brother. But don't just know you got to earn your way into their pack. When you do, it's a lifelong bond.
Yeah.
There's a reason me and Chris Lindstrom are doing a podcast before this. That's my guy. We spent 1 year together. But there's just that respect once you earn, you become brothers. It's cool. As you know, just like college.
Yeah.
The only difference is you don't get 4 years with them anymore.
Yeah.
You're in and out. You'll be on 2 different teams, 3 different teams. You'll watch your brothers get traded, cut, moved. So a little nervous about training camp.
Yeah.
That's all right. You'll get through it. Don't worry about it. Just always remember this. I only got to do this once. Just
Yeah.
get through it and grind. And then next year, bro, when the season ends, you got 4 months to chill.
Yeah.
Like that rookie year, you just got to get through it. And then boom, hit the off season. If you end up back in Knoxville, I'll give you the literally the playbook for an NFL offseason and how to maintain yourself, how long to rest, when to get back after it, how hard to get back after it, how to structure OTAs in offseason in the summer, all that stuff. So, and I'll do it for you now too.
Yeah.
But mostly after that first year because it's different. You're a fart in a whirlwind right now.
Yeah.
Bowl game, combine, pro day, draft, OTAs. Oh my God, let me breathe for 4 weeks. Training camp.
Yeah.
Like you're drinking through a fire hydrant. So next year is the year that like you truly get to learn how to really build your schedule and become a real pro. This year is just a wild year.
Yeah.
So follow the vets around, man. There's going to be an old lineman in that room that's played a long time, made a lot of money. You want to play a long time, make a lot of money?
Most definitely.
Follow that joker around.
Yeah.
And if he's an idiot, which there's one on every team that somehow just stays around and makes up money because they're a freak.
Yeah.
And they're just so gifted that when they get off the bus, they're better than everybody else. With tequila on their breath, hungover, they've been acting up. And guess what? They can still ball. There's one of those guys on every team. But the veteran that's been around a long time, that does things the right way, follow that joker everywhere, Jerome, for real, because he'll show you the way.
Yeah.
And he'll want to, because he's already made it. He ain't worried about you. He just wants to help you.
Yeah.
And then once you prove that you're worthy of him helping, follow him around everywhere. So we hit it. So we got Tennessee football. You love it. Where are you from?
I'm from Memphis.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, from Memphis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What part, though?
So around like North Memphis area, Raleigh. So around that area. So I mean, it's tough. It was tough growing up there. I was actually born in Guam. My mom's in the military. Retired
awesome.
in the Navy for 25 years. So I moved around a lot. I lived in Cuba. I lived a lot of places. But settled in Memphis. Actually lived with my dad. My dad is handicapped. Got hurt on the job. He was a construction worker. Type deal. And kind of just like, I had to like kind of grow up young, type deal, and like take care of him, before he got back on his feet now, type deal, and everything like that, man. Like Memphis is my home. Like it kind of made me who I am,
Cool.
kind of made me tough, type deal. So
It's like my man Jacob Warren's dad. He's from out that way, I think. Jacob's always telling me, man, everybody meets my pops and they can't believe it. I'm like,
Yeah.
he's got that Memphis swag and you don't. You're a yuppie, Jacob. But not so your pops pretty much raised you, but needed some help. He was
Yeah.
injured, and then mom, was she traveling a lot in the military?
she was everywhere. She's been in Egypt. She's been all over the country now. She had to go. So it was just me and my dad, type deal. So it was me and him rocking for a long time.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive. Yep, he's still alive.
Cool, man. I love it. So great childhood, great parents. It's awesome. Like, that's one thing I'm so passionate about around here, man, is some of these kids, like, when I asked you if your pops was around, there's just so many kids without pops right now.
Yeah.
I don't understand how I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't get it. So it's amazing when I'm sitting here with Jerome Carvin and just the man you are, the way you handle yourself, the father you are to your little girl, just the respect, your reputation, how everyone feels about you that I call. Like, you had great parents, man.
Yeah.
So it's like, and not to say that every kid without two parents or without a father, without a mother or whatever won't turn out great. But I'm passionate about, all right, if there's a gap, there's a man gap especially. I can't fill the female gap. I'm not a nurturer.
Yeah.
I don't know how to coddle and all that stuff. I know how to pick you up when you fall and dust you off, but there ain't much sympathy coming your way. Let's go. But I'm passionate, man, about taking care of some of these kids that are growing up without those strong models in their life. Because just one Jerome Carvin and one of my 12-year-olds with no dad's lives, bro, you'll change his life.
Yeah.
He'll look at you, and I'm passionate about that. Not many NFL football players and professional athletes come from married parents and great home lives. So trying to get some of these young cats and help them, whether it's money management or just life or their marriage or whatever, because there's too much struggle out there for athletes.
Yeah.
It's too much struggle. Unnecessary struggle with how much we've been blessed to go do this for a living, play a dang game for a living.
Definitely.
So bad to the bone childhood. Pops is awesome. Pops had a rough time and had an injury that set him back, which sucks.
Yeah.
Mom's a bad to the bone military mom.
Yeah.
So when she was in town, she was on that butt, I'm sure.
Yeah.
She didn't let you get away with nothing. And then went through the Pruitt era.
Yep.
Obviously, Alabama 2.0, I'm assuming. That's the way most guys
Yep.
operate. Yep. And then got to come in and get the hype rejuvenation and get to be a part of the founding fathers and foundation of Tennessee football coming back. And now you're going to the league, man.
Yeah.
What a cool life. You're
Yeah,
blessed.
man.
God has blessed you. I love it. Well, brother, I have enjoyed you so much. I know you didn't do your combine training here, but once you got in here, once you got back here and spent a few weeks with us and getting to watch you at pro days and the time with you, I'm in your corner for life, no matter what, football or non-football. And then anything you ever need from me, say the word. And as long as Triple F doors are open, you're welcome here, my brother.
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. Much love.
Yes, sir. Thank you.